There's a lot of like interesting and weird things out there that you probably don't need, but are still cool, but you just don't need them. Hi guys, I'm back. My name is Ariel and I'm an herbalist. Today we are going to talk about 5 common myths that I hear in the herbal medicine and herbalist community that I think are fake and crap, and I wanted to address them. No one asked for this video. I just wanted to rant today.
Wondrous.
So I've been into herbal medicine and botany in general since I was a little kid. I was obsessed with trees and I thought I was an elf, and I might actually be one. Who can know? But real talk, I have been studying herbal medicine from a very young age. I was 12 when I had acne, and so I read every single book that my mom owned about herbal medicine, which was a couple dozen.
I have many leather-bound books.
I ended up studying herbal medicine professionally, and now I work as an acupuncturist and an herbalist. And I've been doing that for like 5 years, like professionally, if you will. But degrees or not, profession or not, this is my life's passion, and I'm going to talk about it. The first myth that I hear kind of implied in the herbal medicine community is that if your health is not perfectly in line, then you are not a good representative of the herbalist community, and that you have to fix every health problem that you might possibly have with herbs and not turn to the evil pharmaceutical drugs. On one hand, I'm really not a fan of big pharma, and I think that a lot of drugs do more harm than good. On the other hand, the goal shouldn't be to get off of the pharmaceutical drugs, especially if they're benefiting you. The goal should be to be as healthy a person as possible and help yourself in like a holistic way, which means treating yourself as a whole person, body, mind, and spirit, and using plants to benefit all those 3 things.
I am a holistic healer.
In an ideal world, we would just use plant medicine because plants have what we call a synergistic effect. Instead of a drug, which is one isolated chemical compound, plants have a whole array of phytochemical compounds that work together in a balanced manner to have less of a severe effect on the body and also help nourish our body's tissues. That being said, sometimes we just need the drugs. Like if I get in a car accident and I'm bleeding all over the place, please don't just give me some lavender oil. Please take me to the hospital immediately. We need to use the best of both worlds and not get in our egos about our health goals. The second myth that I've grown up with in the herbal medicine community is that you need to use really exotic, faraway plants to be an herbalist worth your salt. That's silly. But I kind of fell for that when I was a teenager. I was experimenting with things like powder arco bark from South America and cat's claw also from there. I would experiment with kratom from Southeast Asia and kava from like the Southeast Pacific Islands. And those are all incredibly sacred, beautiful plants, and they are effective in doing the job that they do. But I would tell any baby herbalists or people interested in this out there that you don't need any of that. You should just look in your pantry. What spices are in your spice cabinet that you can use? What's growing in your backyard? What's growing on your street? What are in your local parks and forests? But I don't really mean to tell you what you should do, I just want to tell you about things that you have easy access to. While I do practice Chinese herbal medicine, and it's really cool, I get to learn about all these plants that have been used really effectively since ancient times in China. I'm always trying to find local versions of that. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and so I want to know all the local Pacific Northwest plants.
It's free real estate.
I've also, as I've gotten older, gotten into my roots, like my heritage, so using like Celtic and Scandinavian herbal medicine, and I really love that because it connects me to my ancestors and like my mother and grandmother, and thinking about things that I grew up with that have been passed down and not even really thought of as herbal medicine, just thought of as like things that women in our family do. And perhaps you guys have a lot of that. If you can just talk to your elders, talk to your parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles about what traditions you have. A lot of it's related to cooking, and so it might not seem like herbal medicine, but it definitely is. The third common myth I hear is that you need to know about and use low-dose herbs. A low-dose herb is an herb that can be dangerous in amounts higher than a low dose. So a common example I like is iris root. It's really effective in doing what it does, which is powerfully cleaning your liver and blood. But if you're like a newbie and you're like nervous about it, or if you're a person with excessive traits, you think that if a little of something is good, a lot must be better, then maybe herbs like that aren't appropriate for you. Maybe you can get the same job done with something like dandelion that is really common, easy to access, and is not toxic in high quantities.
What are all these bubbling chemicals all over the place?
So, in essence, low-dose herbs are cool if you really know your and you know how to use them and how not to go overboard with them. They can be great allies and tools. But when in doubt, just like don't do anything unsafe, right? Like, why would you? When there's so many really safe and like non-problematic options available to you.
So boring.
Do you guys like my leafy background? I was trimming my tree today and thought it was pretty. I might like make some flower arrangements later. Number 4 is that you need all sorts of complex preparations to be a good herbalist. And this is a bit of a marketing thing. There's a lot of like interesting and weird things out there that you probably don't need, but are still cool, but you just don't need them. I practice primarily with teas, tinctures, and herbal capsules. Sometimes I'll recommend that somebody do like an herbal soak or bath, but I like to keep it simple. I'm a basic bee, and I want to do things that I will actually use.
Figure it out.
Essential oils is a really good example because I'm pro essential oils. I'm not anti-essential oils. It's literally a miracle of science in a bottle. It's a super intensive terpene extract of like literally hundreds and thousands of plants in one bottle. And it's highly aromatic and highly therapeutic. But people go buck wild with them. They like pour it in their food and water and directly on their skin, which can burn your skin, and y'all need to just chill.
Yo, I can't chill right now.
Other things include like spagyric all-chemical preparations, and I'm actually not throwing any shade to these things. Like, they seem really cool. I just don't think they're necessary. And also, the spagyric and alchemical preparation has been explained to me probably like 24 times, and I still don't get it. And I think I'm still a good herbalist. There's so many other things, including yoni steams, whatever that is, and oh, I know what that is, I'm kidding.
Oh, I know.
It doesn't have to be that complicated. Like, we don't necessarily need all these things. They are cool and they're helpful tools, but if you don't feel like incorporating it into your life, who cares? Just like drink some chamomile tea. If it's what you do for a living and if it's what you love, go off, queen or king. That is within your right to explore. Number 5 is my favorite one to talk about because I want to be really empowering and give you guys the tools and education that you need to really like learn how to wildcraft and forage and grow your own food and medicine. Something that I am still learning myself. And so the myth is that you need a fancy degree and clinical education or lots of certificates and courses in herbal medicine and plant healing.
Fake news.
I think it was helpful for me because it was the only way I knew, and having these degrees and like training helped give me confidence working with patients and clients, but it definitely wasn't necessary. I could have done a very similar path just being self-taught. So again, I'm here as a resource and I love educating people on plant medicine, but just because I have a degree about this doesn't mean that I'm necessarily smarter or more informed than another self-taught herbalist. Literally anyone can do this. Anyone can go identify a tree in their backyard, figure out what it's been traditionally used for, figure out if it's safe for them to use internally or externally, or if it's just like there for beauty. There are so many plants in this world, and we can learn as many of them as we can, and we don't need no fancy certifications to do that. Oh, but is there another myth about tattoos that may not be a myth at all? Why, yes. When I meet an herbalist, I fully expect them to be covered in botanical tattoos. Like these ones, or this one, or even this one. Yes, if you are into herbal medicine or plant healing or plant magic or any of those things, I expect you to be covered in botanical tattoos, or else I won't take you seriously at all.
Fact.
Yep, I am completely serious about this.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what you think down below. If there's any other myths that you would like to debunk or just talk about in the comments, feel free to go off, start an argument, or whatever you want to do. Until then, I will see you all in a week or two, and I'm signing off, and I love you lots. Bye!